A year ago, after cutting my mother out of my life for many years, we made a truce. We decided that we'd both try to be civil to each other, partly because of her lymphoma, and partly because, well, problem was, I was sure she had demonized me with her friends. The daughter that wouldn't visit, wouldn't write, wouldn't call. At the Blue Ribbon Diner, my mother's home away from home, as we waited for a table, I met 8 ladies clutching their purses. There was Mom's best friend Hannah, who had worked at Victoria's Secret for 22 years. Sheila, who retired with Mom from GE in 1984. And then Sue, who went with Mom to Fuss Budgets, an investors club for penny-pinching seniors, all gathered around, hanging on her every word. So, we had lunch together, all of us. The routine was a trip to the dollar store, where she'd complain about the prices, then over to the Blue Ribbon for lunch, where they'd wave for endless refills on coffee, tip badly, and leave. And then I'd come back to Boston, wondering if there was any connection between my mother and me at all. When my mom died, we all stood outside her room at the nursing home. The women surrounded me, a weepy circle of white-haired ladies. And then when I told them Mom wanted no ceremony, no services of any kind, they just looked at me, lost. It was her last selfish act. There was only one thing to do. One more lunch at the Blue Ribbon in honor of Mom. The following weekend, while flags at dollar stores flew at half-mast, we ordered our eggs and bagels and coffee. Hannah started to talk about my mom. She'd actually written something up. Things to remember about Mom. Her favorite color, her favorite movie, ice cream. I began to panic. I'd shown up with nothing, no eulogy, not even an idea of what to say. I was totally quiet. Hannah turned to me. She touched my hand, her tiny one, so light. Don't worry, you don't have to say anything. I don't? Erika, your mom always said she was a terrible mother. The table grew quiet. There's nothing that you have to explain to us, Sheila said. She always knew she wasn't a good mother and that she never understood how she ended up with such a wonderful daughter. You didn't know that? Sue said. I shook my head, staring at my eggs. Maybe it's okay with her. I tell you that now. There was this beautiful terraced rose garden behind the Blue Ribbon where the ladies would go for a stroll after lunch. And that's where we buried Mom's ashes, next to a bench where they would always stop to rest, so that Mom could listen to them talking and laughing, and they could keep hearing her as long as they were on this earth. Maybe it's okay with her now, if I tell you that. Mm-hmm.